had a little girl client, and she was with her mom leaving, walking down the stairwell, and her mom called me later and said, when she was leaving, my little girl said, I knew she was a witch. And her mom hadn't said anything to her. She was about 8 years old. I knew she was a witch. And she was like, happy to validate that I was right about her. And I was like, yeah, well, that's the kind of witch that it's like good. I think that we are indeed, if only that word like was said it all. I think, yeah, what is a good word for people like us? You think witch?
I mean, when I think of you, because I was thinking today, like, how am I going to introduce Charisse? Like, I consider you a mystic.
Oh, mystic. Okay.
But like, I would never take it upon myself to call myself a mystic because it feels a little like highfalutin or something.
You have to choose a word. I had to put psychic on my business card because you have to choose a word. It just means of the soul. But I get a lot of flack from that. I don't like the word psychic. So, but I still had to pick a word that other people would go, oh, general direction, signpost. Words are just general directions.
Exactly. And that's my thing, because it's like, okay, I teach people how to create and transform reality with language. I guide people through the transformational process. Like, I just go to witch because it just like kind of truncates all of it. But then some people get weirded out by it, I guess.
I think that the energy, since we are exchanging energy, and if somebody isn't able to communicate through an exchange of energy and they're just using their noggin, then they're probably not teacher shows up when the student is ready. There's no force, like you're like, I find in my work, I don't want to pour more water on a glass that's already full. Like, people can't take in, you and I can take in like vast amounts. Our neuroplasticity is like off the charts when we talk. We're capable of connecting a lot of seemingly disconnected dots, but it give us a minute and they all cycle back to the original thought. We're not like scatterbrains, like, oh, just talk about everything under the sun. No, this is we don't even know what we're talking about because we're showing up to find out what life wants to express through us together.
Exactly. And that's why, like, not just this conversation with you, my every conversation with you, and the way I do my podcast a little bit differently than I see some people doing them, not all. It's like, I want it to be an exploration. Like, I don't know what we're going to talk about and what we're going to discover and what kind of tributaries we're going to take. And for me, that's what's so exciting. It's like we're on an exploratory journey together.
Well, that's like life is like being a passenger on a train and looking out the window. What you're passing by isn't your life. Like, you're in the seat, like waking up, and all this stuff is going on around you, but you can connect to higher forces that with topical subjects, like how does the mind and the body and the spirit, how does all of this work together, is one of my favorite topics, because that's cracking the code for what a human is, because we can improve ourselves by learning about what human is. We're superhumans, as I like that movie, Superhuman, but we're super gifted, and that all those gifts lie dormant within us. So people don't know that humans have such great capacity, so they want to get some kind of AI technology to accentuate and amplify their human like inability, what they're deficient in. But we have not. That's like cutting down the rainforest before you know what plants you destroyed. It's like, just maximize what humans are and then learn what you are. That's my whole, that's the mission. It's really find out what human is before you replace it. I don't want a heart that's not a human heart. That people go like, oh, but it's great, AI is great. It's like, you can have a holographic heart. It's like, I was like, the first time I heard that a few years ago, I was like, why would I want that? It's just like, duh, I don't get it. Because like quality of life, not quantity. It's like all these simple things, directives that I grew up with, but was lost in the through the decades that have been here. So that's why we're holding the fort down
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
insightful awareness. And
Why do you think that so many healers are artists and artists are healers? Like, what about those two paths or realms of service expression go hand in hand?
well, again, you're starting here. So healers are usually in their hearts, and they have more compassion on a good day than the average person. So it's they usually have had a lot of hardship to get to that place, and then the artist, it's usually the same. In fact, there was that starving artist thing. Like you had to have some hardship to get initiated into being a deviant from society and going within, and maybe being in the theta wavelength and your third eye and your heart, upper chamber activities. Those that like a communication, like singing, the upper chamber is like the healing, the communication, singing, visions, dreams, connection with higher self. So you once you get your earth life down and you figure it out a little bit, then you can launch it. It doesn't mean there's no perfect formula. It's just you have to have somewhat of a foundation to be able to do this stuff well.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just like be up top heavy, like give, because then you're like one of those rocking dogs in the back of the people's cars. It's like you don't want to be top heavy, and that's what most Westerners. The world is like Western right now. I think the world became Westernized, but so we're looking at too much intellectual activity all the time. We're all in our heads, and that makes us like this. Whoa, So we need to get the base foundation of connecting with the earth and foundation of our life, and keeping it real. Keep life the day. I mean, like, isn't it great? I think it's great that we're talking and we don't know what we're talking about, and that might turn some people off, and it might relax some people. Like, oh, phew, I don't have to follow along with this conversation because they're clueless, and they're aware that they're clueless. So we're pretty wise. We're the wise folk in the village. Village medicine women. Yeah, we don't know how we do it, but it works.
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to steer us back on track. As the host, you're in LA, you're in Hollywood, you're in the literal center of the belly of the beast. And I can say that from experience, like you're right in the middle. And not only are you sitting in the middle as an empath, as an intuitive, telepathic star girl, right? So you're gleaning all this information from your positioning. You're also engaging people and healing people. So I'm curious to know like what you're seeing right now, what you're feeling, like how is it looking, the earth game, the humanity game from your vantage point right now? And what are some of the themes that you're seeing that are alive?
Well, we're pretty much, humans are running for their lives right now. We're being chased by the machine. And so that's why it's important to come forward and be human at this time in history, in this precious moment, because we're being dominated by a machine technology that is not human and doesn't really doesn't like humans. I mean, basically, the movement that's happening is anti-human, and I love humans. The more that people don't like humans and want to change humans, me, I'm always like the rebel, but I mean, like, I love humans now. Now I'm like, yes, humans, because what the fuck you want to, excuse my French. Oh, now we're off the air, but we're we have to not like be okay. I was born being told I wasn't enough. Now humans aren't enough. Like, oh, I got you. You set the stage for me to constantly doubt myself, And now that was successful. And so now humans aren't enough. And we gotta increase like whatever they are with some hydrogel and nanoparticles and to make more humans because humans aren't enough. Well, the big message is on this screen is humans are enough. Humans are more than enough. They just need to find out that they have dormant skills that haven't been used, so they atrophied within us. And now bring them out to play. Let's all just be more of who we are and learn that that's enough. So we got to be enough right now. I'm enough. You're enough. Everybody. What if everybody was enough? Oh, I don't know. Because that's the whole problem is that people need other people to change so that they feel good about themselves. But it's not an outside thing. The only way to feel good about yourself is to, learn about what your life form is about. And don't ask other people not to upset you. You got to change for me so I feel better about myself. That doesn't work. Who doesn't try that? We try that for most of our lives. Like, I'm mad at you. You need to, why did you do that? That really upset me. It's like, well, deal with the fact that you thought you were entitled to something that you weren't ever entitled to because nothing's guaranteed. So you thought you were guaranteed another moment? Well, game's up. You're not guaranteed another moment.
Right.
So
it feels like that wanting others to change to make ourselves more comfortable has reached this like bizarro crescendo in the past few years. Like, I don't remember it being like this even like 15, 20 years ago. It feels like it's sort of like a new flavor and a new intensity has been dropped into the cultural engineering.
100%, we're under attack as a human. It is full on, and I don't want to make it sound scary or anything, but if you're running for your life, you better have some alternatives than the ones that the people that aren't that into you or are not really for you, the ones they give you. You need to have your own alternatives, your own like Felix the Bag tricks. Like you have to have your own ideas to because it's not just this earth. It's like, of course we love the earth, but when we die, which we're guaranteed to, by the way, we don't die. And that's like the big that's the big breakthrough right there. It's like you're going to take yourself in every dimension. This body's, you're using it to become more alive so you can experience life. And are you experiencing life? How are you doing it? How are you experiencing your life? Your life.
I'm definitely experiencing my life.
You're experiencing your life. That's awesome.
In big giant gulpfuls. Do you think that this AI is extraplanetary?
If it's everywhere in the universe and just like I say, like one chakra can overpower a weaker one. If these forces, probably, yeah, they're probably everywhere in the universe.
I mean, I know people, obviously I've been in this conversation quite a while about what's going on with the AI and the technocratic enslavement and whatnot. And maybe this is overly simplistic, but I feel like, well, we could just unplug it.
Unplug what? The AI?
Like I can unplug my computer. We can unplug all the smart things. Like we can, like, isn't that where we have our leg up? That it requires some sort of external energy force to operate? Or are we thinking that am I maybe reducing that to something more earthly? And in fact, it's like this larger consciousness that doesn't really need the tech to do its dirty work here.
True. It's like, there's a couple of things, like from the frying pan into the fire, it's like where you are is you just stay where you are and then just receive guidance, see what's next. There's no better place than where you are right now because there's no getting there. As Ram Dass said, they're just being here. And so the idea that there is somewhere else is an illusion. And that's hard. I mean, like when somebody dies, I was thinking like, the other day, like when somebody dies, everything feels really amplified. Like this moment is like, oh my God, it's so precious. Everything, oh my God, I'm not guaranteed. They come this big wash of remembering, this is all there is. And then it goes away again. It kind of like, oh, this is solid. This table is solid. This screen is like I think it was like, what you resist persists. If you resist technology, you don't need to do anything but add more of what you like, and then the things you don't like, suddenly you forget about them because they've disappeared. Like that's the whole secret to healing. I'm not a healer. I do practice healing arts, but I don't call myself a healer because I just help people access their own, of course, healing within. But this adding more of what's you like and what's good overpowers what's bad, and then you don't have to focus on what you don't like about yourself. Just focus on what you do like. Take yourself out on a date and see what you feel like. Do you want a cup of tea? Do you want to take a bath? Want to go for a walk? Are you hungry? Interact with yourself. And like, that's the same way angels and our ancestors who are still with us, they're like not, I have a quote from them. We're not chopped liver over here. Because they're like, we forget about ourselves. We forget about people who died. Like, sorry, it's just like, I'm just like, forget. And it's time to remember. It's time to remember that we're connected and endlessly influencing everything else. And that is the way it is for everybody. Whether you want to influence everything else or not, you still are. So choose your side. It's light and dark, but choose what side you want to walk on. Sunny side of the street. Just choose that. You have an option, but it doesn't mean that the dualities of life, you're not saved from. Life is, it's a lot of people, if I'm going to say, a lot of my clients really have trouble with feeling safe in these changing times. And we're in the unknown. You and I are in the same unknown that everybody else is.
And that we've always been in.
Always been in. That's why I call it the friendly unknown, because it got us to where we are right now. So it's pretty friendly. Pretty good, right? And yet, because there's no certainty the uncertainty is something you have to get a relationship with. It's like, like you have to have your style. Like, how are you today? I don't, you say, I don't know. I'm like, I'm here with you now. But our language is like, well, I'm fine. How are you? But are you depicting your past? Who are you? How are you being with people? That is the ultimate like interaction for a stranger or a person you love. Just be present. Listen. Like Lao Tzu says, listen. It's my favorite quote.
I love that. Okay, so you mentioned like navigating the unknown. And as you're speaking, I realized like, I think that's the intersection between the healer and the artist, because I think both require surrender. Like you said, you work in the healing arts, but you're not a healer. So anytime you're dealing with a client, that entails stepping into the unknown, because you know that you're not a healer. It's just like, what is going to come through, and what am I going to be invited to do to support what's coming through? Same with the art. We look at a blank canvas, or you pick up your guitar, who knows what's going to want to come out, and I think it's just becoming more adept, as you said, it like Lao Tzu, listen. But you mentioned style. And I think that has a piece of it, because you are one of the most stylish people I know. And I'm wondering like how that, is that because of how you're in relationship with the unknown, or how do you think that folds into it?
I think your personal style is like your personality. Your style, like I wouldn't want to wear red socks with a light blue dress and clogs or something. It wouldn't be my style.
No.
No. But people have styles of their personality that can be enhanced through clothing. Like, say, for example, you have to have a style when we communicate. Like you and I are respectful and being here with each other. It's a style. You know, we're not talking over each other. It's like we're generating a style. The same is a complementary fashion, one that I believe respectfully frames the human with honoring the life. It's like being like a flower or something, doing your best. Like I don't like to let other people be my mirror. I like to check myself out before I leave the house. I notice a lot of people don't where I live, like in Hollywood. No, like really, like it's a lot of t-shirts and sweatpants, and there's a ton of that. I don't go to Hollywood. I try not to go to the flatlands. So I'm just saying up in the hills. But I've been known to wear eccentric clothing forever, and sometimes people yell at me. Like in Chicago in the old days, I would get yelled at, "Get a life!" They're like, "Oh, I didn't know I didn't have one," but there's all kinds of things you persevere. I was like, "It's not Halloween." They're like, "Oh, Halloween is every day," so that was my new catchphrase. Oh, yeah. Halloween is every day.
Time isn't linear. It's Halloween on some dimension.
It's just about having a style that you can feel good about, and if other people like it or don't like it, I don't want to offend people. I mean, it's not a goal to. I used to dress so weird. I got a scholarship at the Landmark Forum like 30 years ago because they redressed me. They took off all. I had to go in a back room, and they had all this like nice beige suit for me to wear. And when I came back into the room, because I was wearing like the screen behind you, I had pants on like that from Italy and purple hair and stuff. But this was like 30 years ago, and before it was popular, I probably heralded in the no, but it's all right. So I got a standing ovation, like 500 people, like, "Yeah, she's got a beige suit on." I got a scholarship immediately.
How was that for you?
How was it? It was really. I was so surprised. I did not know that was so easy to please people like that. So I learned a lot. I had no idea that they thought that I was a poor, forlorn soul because I dressed artistically. Because this is the mindset that I was surrounded with. Artists were not, and they still aren't appreciated. They don't appreciate themselves. So it all comes from. I was happy to learn that a beige suit made the room happy for me, and I learned that you can dress to not scare people away. And that's not I liked learning that. I actually upgraded my presentation after that a little bit with just more mindful organization of a look. So it wasn't just like a haphazard but I had friends, in the music business that wore kimonos. I wore a lot of kimonos, and I still wear kimonos.
Me too.
But in New York, people wore pajamas to shop in and stuff. I mean, that helped me to be weird. I don't know. We're going off tangent here, but.
Well, I'm curious because as you're saying this, I'm thinking like, there's no way other people dress that offends me unless it's girls or women who are showing so many parts of their body that are indicating sexual signaling that I don't know where to look. And I know that there's a lot of that in LA. Like, do you have a take on that? For me, I just feel like it's not safe for those women. I feel like it makes the whole world less safe.
They have to go through that. Everybody's got to have their own journey. And you cannot take a horse to water and make it drink. So I don't try. I mean, if they're making life harder for themselves, good. Maybe they'll hit the wall and turn a corner and grow a little bit like I did. So there's no shortcuts to hardships and breakthroughs. It's part of the natural awareness that grows within us if we get hurt enough. It's enough. You hit a wall.
I feel like it's gone to this crazy extreme. Like I was at a pool last week and there was a woman there, like very beautiful, and she was by herself and she was wearing a G-string bikini that went up her butt. And I was like, you're by yourself. Like what happens? Like you are sexually signaling to every man here, you know, like we're primal animals. Like when you walk to your car, I don't think that that's very safe. And it's not like a bikini bottom that covers the ass is all that, like, are you going to be too hot in it? Like, I'm all for free will and whatever anyone wants to do, but I think it's gone to this crazy place.
I mean, all kinds of eras that humans have lived through, like the Black Plague was a crazy place too. It's like do crazy places happen?
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with us. We just have to maintain our own crazy place, our own not crazy, but our own self. Like what we're doing. I mind my own business. MYOB is my first MO.
Yeah.
MYOB, yeah. But so it's like I really don't care. I'll avoid people, but I don't worry about them or think, oh, they should do this, that isn't safe or whatever. I mean, I know. I mean, I have no idea what life is. Very varied, and it's a menagerie, and it's like circus in a weird way. And you just have to allow for differences. Like the temperance card in the tarot is allow for differences, and that's my main feature this year for my inner work, is allowing for extreme differences and not having an opinion about it. Just really be okay, roger that, and I'm going to do this. It's not going to interfere with me.
Are there any examples you could share of things that you have had strong feelings about in the past that you're moving into that neutrality around?
Everything. I've been my life, I've been a reaction to everything, just like everybody else, but I've been resetting my body and my soul and my mind. Reading 2 books at the same time while I'm writing my book, just as, you know, like to keep myself having fun. It's an old book, Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz.
I love that book.
I grew up with it.
It's so good.
The Silva Mind Control Method, right? I got these 2 old, like 1960s paperbacks on my kitchen table. I just open, I'd be like, the Sanskrit word chariot, you just open to any page and read, and it's just fun, because all the things that are in those books, all the neuro or I should say bioenergetics and the tuning forks and the mediums, the chakra, all of it is the chakra field, energy field, all the different, there's nothing changed. So it's all the same information, fast forward 60 years, that's in those books, because the mind is a computer and we do program it, just like we typed in something here and it shows up on the screen. It's the same information. Like, say, David Icke, he's been saying the same information for how many decades? 30
years, 40 years.
Yeah. And it's the same information, but we don't see it. So how do you, even though you hear it and you see it, you still don't. So, like, because the overpowering setting where the Earth's consciousness is to downsize humans, so we hear that first. We hear that, we listen to everything through that, and we see everything through that lens. You know, it's like, everything isn't good enough. And then if we change that, then we're like, why would I want to say something negative? So negative thoughts, negative suggestions have no influence over any level of mind. And in this era that I'm born in, no matter where I am, or if I'm in 100 years ago or dream state or time traveler, multi-dimensions, doesn't matter. I'm going to take myself with me. I've got to have myself, and what other people are doing is really their business. And, I have no opinion about it. Just as long as it doesn't like roll over my daisies, then I'll get mad.
Yeah.
If somebody daisies, somebody rolls over them, I'm like, what are you doing? And I will sound it. But if it ain't bothering me, I'm like minding my own and just, leave la difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. So are you seeing any, like in terms of, we live in a dualistic reality, right? So for as much darkness as there is, there's light. I heard you say we're in a decay phase. That seems pretty obvious. And it's the same.
We're humans, and everything in life is not in a phase. It is the natural law, decay. Nature does it for us.
Well, it's also regeneration. Like I cut my finger and it's healing, and I will have new regenerated skin in a couple days. Right. That is happening simultaneously.
Right. I'm saying the same thing, but I didn't say it. You're right. It's like the thing about resistance is that Zen principle, like where you don't feel safe. You're resisting the reality you're in. You don't like it, but don't worry about it. Don't worry about it, because it's all just gonna be gone soon enough. It's like, and at the same time, it'll always be here. It's eternal. So this is the paradox, and the paradox is the truth. So the thing is, that's what a Zen koan is. Zen koan is the mystery of life, and it isn't just the sound of one hand clapping. It's the whole of life is a Zen koan.
Mm-hmm.
So it isn't like you could say, oh yeah, it's just decay. Well, of course, it's a rejuvenation. That's why talking is, as long as you understand everything is an opposite, then you can start from that base and communicate.
Yeah,
everybody's defending your side.
Yeah, well, it also helps to not take it all so seriously, because it's like that paradox is everywhere all the time. We don't have to get hung up on any sides. But my question is, like, given all the darkness that we've seen, really present itself in the past couple of years, and understanding that we live in an equal and opposite multiverse, like, what is the light that you've been seeing? Like, what's wonderful it has emerged and is emerging in your world?
People like us coming forward and sounding our truth, our paradoxes, our inner understanding of how life works, so that more life can be generated as a result of our coming together. And when I listen to people that are doing podcasts on this level, I am so just psyched through and through that I just feel so good. It's like, that's the feeling where you just don't feel alone anymore, because it doesn't matter if you know them. You just like, yes, that's our channel that we're tuning into. And our channel today that we're broadcasting from is this band wavelength of more life, more humans, becoming more human and having a heart, coming from the heart and being real. And yeah, like growing up in public, like Lou Reed used to say, it's like we are grown. You have to be willing to grow up in public. And if you want to hide your branches, like a tree that has like my tree outside has like a broken branch, it's not tucking it. Oh, my branch is broken. You got to let it like be like a tree, be visible, and whatever place you're in, like whatever stage of your life form you're in, it's a work in progress, and let it shine and share your life with others.
You're such a great living example of that. And I love how you said that. But I'm remembering, I'm such a fan of your art and your music and all of it. And I recommend everyone follow you on Instagram, because I love your offerings. And I remember a couple of years ago, I was already in New Mexico, and the craziness had just started, and you did a video where you were walking in our hood and you were talking about the kids and the family who ran away from you. And there was just the way that you did it touched my heart. Like, it was heartfelt, it was sweet, it was heartbreaking, it was funny and creative and absurdist. Like, it was everything. And it just gave me, like, it was so reassuring. Like, of course, my ride or dies, totally get it. Like, we all get how ridiculous this is. And there was so much like permission in that video you did, and so much connection. And it like really got me through a sucky moment.
Yeah, that's what we're all holding. Like, it's really hands around the world, and it is really love around the world. Like, when you're real, which is only heartfelt, then the electromagnetic field around the heart is like 25 feet. I mean, they measure it with heart math. So it is broadcasting. We're broadcasting centers. And so when you broadcast, and that's why I'm doing this interview, when you broadcast, it shares more of that vibration that is just in the moment real. It's changing. It's a frozen light moment, like quantum physicists would say. We're just a Polaroid of this moment in time, and that is valuable. And so you get to reap the offerings that your other like-minded souls or soul groups, and maybe some people are even part of our soul. They are us, and they're doing different lives around the world. I feel so close to some people I don't know, like as if they're me, but they have different bodies and they're doing other things. So, I mean, we're all here, and let's make the most of it.
Totally.
And I think we did that today. So thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Okay, so tell us before we go, tell the folks about the sessions you offer, how they can taste of your genius, like how they can touch in with the magic of Charisse Landise.
Oh, okay. I do phone healing readings, and I scan the aura and the chakras. And it's like it's like rings around a tree. The aura is like this. It's like so you look at the core, the center, and that's your spinal column. And then all that's happened to you through your life is measured in, like, dry or wet spells. And so I just scan that, and then that all has information about you. It stores your pictures. Our intelligence and our brain is through our whole body and every cell. So, and it's in the field around you. So we're actually very visible to each other if we learn how to, look at it. And so I look at people so they can learn about themselves and appreciate what gifts they might have been overlooking. So basically I help people get more alive by telling them where they're at in this moment, in their energy, how it's set. And I do like a healing from their higher self, and I comb through the body, and I answer any questions. Or for animals, I love doing cat and dog. I haven't done anything but cats and dogs yet, but I love talking to animals. They're such easy reads. Did they tell all? But I just read the human aura, and I'm happy to help people that are ready to hear what I have to say, because I only say what I mean. And I never say the same thing twice in a healing, because it's always fresh. And you're going to get whatever comes through. And, but, I'm supportive. I'm not interested in telling you something that isn't going to make you more alive. That's not what it's for. I'm happy to have a happy moment together in a real, sincere connection with somebody, and like we're doing now. And it'll be resonating, like healings such as this, like we're doing healing energy here. You can feel it through the screen. So that's kind of a taste of what my work is. Mm-hmm. As well as, I could scan, next time we talk, I can scan your aura. I'm sure you'd like to have everybody hear what's in your chakras.
Probably not.
That's the thing. People don't want it live, I had done what was it called? A reality TV show where I read somebody so well that they couldn't air it. It's like, well, I don't want everybody to know about that. Yeah. So it's not easy to share, as I say, be visible that to that extent.
Yeah, I mean, that's deeply vulnerable. Like it's not just what's under my shirt, but it's like, you know, all the different layers and levels. But I can attest to the amazingness of your sessions and to how much compassion and wisdom and like, it's like divine mother, like it's all good, you know, it's so reassuring.
Yeah, just don't call me an Earth Mother. No, I mean, like people used to call me Earth Mother when I was in my 20s, and I was like, is that an insult?
You're
But
more galactic.
I'm a telepathic mother.
Star girl.
I am a whoa man, telepathic star girl. We have a name because people need names, but we're not our names. But I think that being read visibly is possible. So if you ever feel up to it, we could do that, because I think it'd be possible to read you. And probably not. No, never mind.
No, I'm game. I'm game. I'm game.
Okay.
I mean, I can always choose not to air it, but I think it'd be fun experiment.
Delete. Yeah, delete it.
And it would be a great way for people to get to taste of your work.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, these healing vibes are transmitting now, and everybody who's listening is able to either connect to it or like not. But it's nobody's trying to do anything. We're just being ourselves. So we're just sharing ourselves. If that's of any value, that's nice, because that's it's kind of like a show and tell. I used to love show and tell when I was a kid. It's like, here, this is my favorite music box. I don't know if you like it. And you know, it's like, but it's something that I loved, and this is something I love that I'm sharing, which is I'm sharing love for life. That's my new show and tell. I love life, and I don't want to change humans. I love humans just as they are. They are enough. That's my wind up doll.
Well, I know that show and tell isn't competitive, but I feel like you won show and tell by sharing how wonderful life is.
Oh, I won. Oh, there's a prize. Oh, good. I didn't know there were prizes in this on this show.
The prize are just my words, but I think they have value on some dimension.
Oh, no prize. Oh, okay. I didn't expect it anyway. Okay, on some dimension, it's ourselves and share ourselves. And
Is there anything jumping out of my aura at you?
No, just being a great communicator, and you are tremendously invested in your light blue chakra. This is like your whole dominant vibrational color, light blue. And that it's your communication center is receiving a lot of signals right now. So it may be feeling like you're a little too many signals, because it feels very bright. Like sometimes chakras can get too bright, and then you have to you want a happy medium. So I feel like there's a lot of robust energy. Maybe just quiet that and take a nap after this. Yeah, I broadcasted. Woo!
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you. I'm glad glad we could spend this like hyperspace moment together in this context of the unknown and the immediacy of the now.
I love that. I always love our conversations, and thank you for agreeing to do this one on camera. It means a lot to me, and I'm sure it'll mean a lot to the audience as well.
Well, that'd be nice. Okay, cool. I can't look forward to talking again, and I'm very grateful to have you in my room through this screen. So I'm not resisting technology, and appreciating you always, timelessly. And you helped fuel and fire my eternal nature through our love connections, because I have a lot of confidence in love as a timeless fuel that connects all of us, and creates wholeness for each of us from a distance.
Totally. Well, I'm glad you feel that from me because you're such a gem in my life. So
Thank you. I know you're the best too. I love you too. Thank you. All right, you be your gorgeous self now.
you too, Charisse. I love you.